All right, thanks for tuning in for the monthly recap for August. So in this video, I'm just going to review my statistics for August, my profits, my biggest loss, and my biggest win. And so August, so far on the year, August is my second biggest month so far in 2021. None of these months match up to what I am trading at today, but August is my second biggest month, and we can take a little bit closer look in the calendar. And August versus July. So July is my biggest month so far. In August, I had twice as many red days, and I had one red day that was enormous, $745. Enormous in relative to what I am trading. So my average profits, say my average green day here in August looks like, let's take a look actually. My average green day in August is $215. So pretty much I lost 3 times, more than 3x my average green day. And that really set me back on the day or on the month right out of the gates. It started right in the morning on the beginning of August, on August 2nd, right out of the gates at 9 a.m. started going south, and 9:30 just went really south. We can go through what exactly happened, but that was a really challenging day for me. The biggest loss I've ever had, actually, to date, was on this day. I mean, I've had bigger losses, but I've had losses 2 years ago, and when I used to really gamble on Robinhood. I used to just gamble with my profits, not even day trade, just put my entire position on a single stock on Robinhood, and I would end up losing thousands of dollars. But since I really started to day trade, this has been my biggest loss in one trade and in one day. $750, $745, and in one trade it was $550, which I will review. And that really shook me up emotionally, mentally. It took me a couple of days of consistency, 3 days of consistency to start sizing up again. Then I had a nice week on this week. One of my, I think it was my biggest week I've had, actually, was this week. And then started to have a couple of red days, but very small red days. I did really good keeping them small. Again, getting consistent again on this last week, full week of August. Another good solid week, and that put me, I rebuilt from this loss, and then had a nice solid month compared to previous months so far. Still hitting my monthly goal of 2,000 minimum, and actually well over that by a few $100s. And if I didn't have this loss, if I just erased this day and just had a no trade day, it would have been my biggest month ever. So I am making progress, but one day really determined whether or not this was going to be my biggest month in August so far. So 745 plus 2,016, 2,613, sorry. 745 plus 2613 would be 3,358. That would be about $100 greater than my biggest month in July, which was July. So making progress. However, one little setback did prohibit me, or did stop me from having that biggest month. So it's good to keep it in perspective, though. If I did not trade on that day or did manage my risk a little bit better, it still shows that I am making progress. But one lapse in judgment, one moment of not staying disciplined can destroy your week or your month. Really was a big wake-up call of just how fast, like how quick it can happen of just taking a loss, and your emotional instinct is just to immediately jump into the next trade that you see that is a somewhat decent setup and just size in double or triple than what you lost to try to make up for it and get back green. And that's exactly what happened. And I was not disciplined to recognize that, and I was just so shaken up that I couldn't keep it together. I sized in way too big and took a pretty decent loss. So I will show you, it was on AMTD was the first loss. So AMTD had a $300 loss, and this kind of kicked it off to a pretty massive red day. So let's go back to, let's see if it goes back far enough. 7, yeah, so 7. Yeah, this day here, we had this huge move on AMTD. Huge move on AMTD. This was around when HKD was moving. So AMTD, right here, sizing in for the pullback, and I'm way too early. Way too early. I get in here and take a little bit 30-cent profit there, get back in, take a quick profit there, then get back in, take another profit. This time I'm up kind of green, and then I get in at 55 off of, why was I getting in at 55? I mean, you sort of had support off of this topping wick, but that was really, I think I was a little bit too high of an entry. I should have waited a little bit more patient. That was the problem. So I got in, and then I immediately started to average down, cut it, sold for some for break even, average down again, 10-cent win, and then taking that position off. So about break even there. Then 1285, I'm looking for that break back over that 9 EMA, and this is where I took half off for a profit, and then it goes backside, starts selling off. I'm still holding that 100 shares from 1280. I'm down 30 cents. I add at 55, and then it sells down all the way down to $12. So I'm down 80 cents a share. This wasn't too big so far of a loss yet. Buy the dip at 21. Sell that position for a 10-cent profit, but still in the red from this previous position, still holding. And then it goes down even more, another $1 a share, all the way down to 11.20, and I average down at 76. So at this point, I'm in 500 shares. I'm already at this point down $1 a share on 100 shares. I'm already down $100. And then I just buy 400 shares at 75, and I lose 50 cents a share. That's another $200. So it's a total of $300, down $300. Try to buy the quick dip here. Made 6 cents. Made 6 cents there. Selling it really, really early. Retest that 9 EMA. I try to catch the pop through 9 EMA. Doesn't hold, doesn't break through. I just lost everything here. Hold up. Getting in at 81. This is when I got really, really undisciplined. This is just way too big of share size. I was in 1,000 shares at this point. 81. Like this could have got south. This could have been a bigger red day. This could have been over a 1K red day. 81, averaging down to 75, taking it off at 77 for a small loss, or about break even. That was a break even one. Then I FOMO in over $12 for the break back over 12.20, back over to 9 EMA, doesn't hold. This was on smaller share size, but another 16-cent loss. 16-cent loss. Then we sell off again. I average down or start a position at 61. Again, very, very high entry. I should have waited for the break by low, 1150 for the higher low. Potentially, that's what I was looking at, but it sold out below the previous low. So now we're making lower lows. Now this is already a red flag. but I'm in at 61 and I don't sell. I'm holding down another $1 a share. I average down at 95 for the pop back over 11, sell at 11, so I'm still taking a 60-cent loss on this position. And then I take a 20-cent loss on this position when it sells all the way down at 70, when I could have, it could have been a green trade if I just was held a little bit more, a little bit longer. And so I pretty much just mistimed the dip here. I got in too early, and when it finally found support, I was in so deep that I had to cut for a loss. And then the same happened here. I got in too early. By the time it got to the low and was going to bounce, I was already down $1 a share, and that's just way too much of a risk, more than I was willing to take. And then if you're in early and then you want to average down on the dip, you're potentially going to be in way too big a share size. And if that trade doesn't work out, if it does sell off another 50 cents a share, you're going to be in 2 or 3 times that original share size. So the problem here was I wasn't patient enough. And then I just look at the P&L. I was up like $100 on the day. Now I'm down $200 on the day. And now I'm trying to get back to break even or just a green. I immediately jump into this stock. So we pop up, we sell off, we reclaim, and we break in again pre-market highs. I thought shorts is going to get squeezed here and break 239. It was a hotter market, so I guess this could have worked out, but I just didn't cut the loss fast enough. In 4,000 shares, 32 again, really, really high. Kind of chasing it here into the highs. Can get risky. It's important not to get in too big for this setup. You want to get in starter share size. If you see this huge green candle, wait for that dip. If it dips, then you can add more. But you're still in relatively small size. That's what I usually do. I'm in small size in the green candle. Wait for the dip, add a little bit more, and receive some momentum. See green on the tape. And then you wait for that next 1 or 2 candles that retest the highs, and you add into the breakout and taking off into the extension. That's what we didn't see. Got in at 32, all the way up here, adding at 33, 3,000 shares, tripled my position all the way up here at the high, and rejected. Down here, cut it at 219. 4,000 shares. Well, 3,500 was for a 15 cent loss. That's a $500 loss. That was it on Tuesday, August 2nd. And I just remember putting my head into my hands and wondering how the heck that happened. It was all emotional control. This could have been avoided. That could have been avoided. If I just would have sized down after that big loss, that $300 loss, I could have managed my emotions and managed that red day. Could have had a small red day, or could even had a small green day. Because after here, I could have maybe potentially kept trading because I wouldn't have even taken this trade. Or if I did, I would have taken on a third of the share size. I would take maybe a $50 or a tenth of the share size. I would take only a couple hundred shares instead of a couple thousand. Because after I take a big loss like that, $300 loss on AMTD, my first instinct shouldn't be to size in triple the amount on the next move. It should be to size down to half size, quarter size, tenth size, and wait till I can see something moving, more quality setups, or at least build some confidence back with some small green trades, and then size up, not just immediately jump in the next stock just to try to make it back. And that was the problem. That caused me to do this in the beginning of August, and it really set me back. But I did rally back in August. You can take a look at my intraday P&L in August. So August, so had the big loss here and started to rally back relatively quickly. It took me only about a week or so. Took me about a week, 7 trading days. Or no, just 7 days, 5 trading days to get back to break even, and then from there started to rally up, hit my daily goal at August 23rd, and from there the rest was icing on the cake. And I did start to go flat at the last couple of days before the weekend on Labor Day weekend. But overall, not bad. It was really good that I was able to bounce back relatively quickly, mentally, emotionally, and profit-wise, able to bounce back. Had a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nice green streak. And then the rest of the losses were relatively small in August. So I like to keep my losses right now under $100. There's really no reason for me to be taking losses like this very often. So I like to keep it under $100 unless the market is really hot. Then I'll expand it to $250 max loss, because then I can take it. It kind of allows me to take bigger size, because sometimes that one trade's not going to work out, but the next trade might. So if I do take $150, $200 loss, it'll still allow me to take that next trade if the market is hot, because then I could make that back in one trade or two trades, even though it's not a big loss. But I don't want to size down after only taking a $150 loss in a hot market. If I take a $300 loss, then yeah, I need to size down. But if it's just 100, 150, I can weather that, because in a hot market, you're going to get more opportunity often. And so if I'm only taking, relatively small loss on a bigger share size, it's not going to stop me from taking that next setup with smaller size if I only take a $150 or $200 loss, because, that's not very big as far as from a risk profile. And if it's a hot market, my upside is going to be like $400 to $500 in profit. So that was just kind of like my mentality. But yeah, that $750 loss definitely was not responsible. But definitely, I learned a lot from that, because now I know what, when I'm triggered. When I do take a $300 loss, it's not the end of the world, and I have to be able to talk myself down from the ledge, talk myself out of getting on the ledge to taking that next huge trade with triple the size. And I can now, since it's happened before, I can recognize the trigger, recognize my emotion, recognize the energy that is I'm going to feel that urge to take that next size, and just to try to alleviate the negative emotion. And instead of doing that, I can catch myself. And so by me doing this and making that mistake, it definitely taught me to not fall into that trap again. And a lot of traders do fall into that trap, and this trade will lead into another trade, and lead into another trade, and lead into another trade before you're FOMOing into your entire account into one position, and you're taking a massive loss, and that's how you blow up an account. So it's good that I cut it here, and I was able to bounce back after a couple of days. Some traders will, after this, jump into another one and into another one, and not ever catch themselves until they're already down and giving back months of profit. So it's good that I caught it here. However, I was still a little bit too late. I should have caught it before I got into this trade. I should have noticed that I was triggered and stepped off the gas and sized down, because if it was just a $300 loss, only being down $200, I would much rather be down $200 versus $750 any day of the week. And that really stopped me from having a huge month, because that loss not only affected that day, but I think, it did affect me on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because I had no choice but to size down, because I was still kind of triggered. Like, I still wanted to make that loss back. I was still emotionally active. So, I did trade lower share size of what I usually do on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And so instead of a $200 or $300 green day on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I was having $80, $60, $130 green days, which is still good. However, if I never had that red day, I probably would still be trading normal share size, and I probably could have had a much bigger month. So that's another thing that contributed to having a little bit lower month than last month, even though my statistics, my average green day, were bigger, and I had less green days in August. It still allowed me to kind of be very profitable, even though I had more red days versus in July. So in July, my statistics, we're looking, my average green day was 203, and in August, my average green day was what, 213? Average green day was 215, so a little bit bigger, and I did size up a little bit more, not that much, as much as I wanted to. I was coming into I was coming into August, like ready to push size. So yeah, in August I did trade 5,000 on average more shares on my average daily share volume, which is a step in the right direction. However, I want this to be near 100,000. That's the goal. And if I'm trading 100,000 average daily volume, that's going to allow me to get consistently over $500 green days and up towards, on really good days, up towards $1,000 green day. And that is the next goal that I have in sight, is to reach that first 1K green day. And I need to be trading bigger share size to allow that to happen. I'm not going to get $1,000 green day trading the share size that I am right now. So still going to push share size, and I think that loss in August really kind of put me behind the 8 ball, and it wasn't about anymore pushing my share size in August. It was about trying to recover my month, trying to get back to consistently green, and just to at least hit my minimum marks, and that's what I did. So maybe now in coming into September, if we see some better momentum, then I can get back to focusing on pushing my share size again and trying to get to near 100,000 average daily volume. And I did get close on a couple of days in August, but it's just the momentum was what is so spotty that I wasn't able to take that many trades, quality trades of decent size, to get this to get these volume to 100,000. I got close, 74,000, 72,000, 71,000. I did have green days on these days, but there was only maybe a couple minutes of momentum to be sizing up. The rest is just like not quality trades, and so like I'm not going to take 100,000 shares in one trade, or two trades with 50,000 shares to get to 100,000 shares. So yeah, so I need to, it just needs to be more continuous momentum for me to get over that 100,000 share mark, and probably even have bigger green days. And that's probably what's holding me back, is because we only get a certain window during the day to make your money, which is going to be 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of momentum at the open, maybe 5 minutes pre-market. It's not much of like an opportunity, continuous opportunity to get green. If you miss that window of opportunity, it's likely you're going to be near flat, small green, small red. So I'm just waiting for more continuous momentum, really. So that is August. I do want to go through my average win-loss. So my win-loss, so 2,695 in profit. So hit my nice marks. However, still a little bit lower than my largest month on July. However, it doesn't mean I didn't grow in August, because if I do take off that one red day, it literally, I would have had the biggest green month again, a next record month. And my average green day in August was bigger than my average green day in July. So a lot of things pointing in the right direction, had bigger share size. It just shouldn't be only, I'm not measuring it by only one statistic of whether or not I'm making progress. There's a bunch of statistics that go into progressing as a trader. And so my average winner a little bit lower than normal, so about 60%, a couple percent lower than my average on the year. But and my average winner is a little bit smaller than my average loser, so my profit factor is a little bit lower, but I was still able to be profitable. So my loser is a little bit bigger than my average winner. My accuracy still a little bit lacking. So not the best statistics, however, it's still good enough to stay profitable. And it probably was messed up from that big $500 loss. Because let's take a look at, if I just go to the third. Yeah, so I have a 1-to-1 risk reward with the 60% accuracy. So that's more like how I would like to see my statistics. Maybe my accuracy is a little bit lacking, but the risk reward right around 1-to-1 is where I like to see it. So let's go through again here. CLWT was my biggest green trade here on August 10th. So let's just review this. My biggest green trade, CLWT. So this one was 931, 932. I think I actually might have this recorded. So let's take a look here. I can show you the video. I do have the video recorded, I think, because I am starting to record my trades. So it's definitely going to be a lot more helpful if I pull up my recording. CLWT, here it is, 810. This is a private YouTube channel. I don't really have anything posted here. It's just where I kind of keep my my recordings, so I don't keep them on a hard drive. So is that 31, right? Yeah, 31. So 500 shares at 24, selling at 27. So that's just a quick scalp there. So 29, again, another 4 cents there. This trade was at 31.32. So it should be coming up. Look for the breakout here. That's probably what I was trading. So in a decent market, you can buy on green candles. Recently, past 3 days, buying green candles, you're getting smoked. So, you know, this just shows me that it's just the market isn't there for me for buying like a momentum strategies like this, buying high, selling higher. Because I literally got in at 36 and added even higher, and still holding. I'm not selling, like I'm not getting shaken out because I'm confident this is going to resolve. And there we go immediately. So what happens here? What happens here? So I'm in 1,000 shares at 38, holding strong for that breakout. I sell some right there for the retest of the high. Sell half. Then we get the pop, and I added to the position for the break of 250. This is the type of trading that I live for. This feels amazing. I'm sure this feels amazing in the moment. Just seeing this huge, large green candle and riding that freaking candle through the high. Nice extension. This is a 10% candle. Retesting, now testing a psychological level. Now we're looking for the break to 250. I'm in 2,000 shares. It's pulling back. I'm still holding. I'm not selling nothing. And in fact, I think I add to the position on this 1 minute pullback. Add. This is an ad right here. Boom. And take it all off on that next candle. That is the type of trading that just keeps me coming back. This is like the feeling that you get of nailing a trade like this. It is unmatched by anything else. And this is why I love trading. This is why I will never stop. I'm going to do this until I die. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Because just the feeling of recognizing a trade and confidently sizing into it and holding and even adding to a winner and getting that huge extension in 2 minutes. This is a potential, this is a 20% move. This, you can make some serious money on this. And this was only on 2,500 shares. That's not even that big of a position size. It's only maybe about $6,000 position size. So that's, about the average of where I'm kind of aiming at for position size. But I'm obviously going to get much bigger and bigger and bigger. And the profits are just going to be much bigger and bigger and bigger. But just the feeling, just the concept and that I can nail this and I can do this again keeps me coming back and trying to perfect another trade. It gets me to wake up in the morning because the feeling that you get from this is incredible. It is really incredible. And the past 3 days have been really slow in the early September, but I'm just waiting for that next day that we see something like this and I can nail it and I can have that confidence to step up to the plate and size into it. And so this was that trade. This was my best trade of the month. And so yeah, it was great. It was great. So that's really all I wanted to share for the monthly recap. So we're about 30 minutes in here. So to wrap up on the month of August, it definitely had its challenges, but we did overcome and we did hit my minimum goals. We hit my minimum goal, and moving in the right direction with volume, moving in the right direction with my average green days are getting bigger. And so I just want to continue that trend coming into September. However, I need to be wary to not fall into that trap again like I did in August of FOMOing in or, trying to make back losses on bigger and bigger share size because I could not handle the emotions and trying to alleviate the emotions by taking bigger size. I need to learn from that and not have to learn that lesson again the hard way. So gonna remember that constantly. Need to constantly revisit and be aware of my emotions during the trading day so this doesn't happen again. And then also, being aware of the markets and being aware of the trend in the market. If it's a slower market, just being able to size down before I have a big losing day. And then when it picks back up, then to just seamlessly size back up with the market as the market is giving bigger and bigger moves and having much stronger momentum. So going to continue the trend going into this month, sizing up more, staying disciplined, not taking big losses, keeping the losses small, maintaining a 60% or more accuracy, and having a 1-to-1 risk reward. So those are my goals heading into September. And they're not that hard to achieve. I just need to stay disciplined and stay aware. I have to stay aware and not succumb to my emotions. So that's it for the August recap. I know it's been a little bit since the end of August, but it's better late than never to post this video. So if you're still watching, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next recap video. All right, peace.